of satisfaction.
And so my birthday's coming up on Tuesday, so my question was...
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You were sort of fishing for that, weren't you?
Happy birthday. I was wondering if you have any memorable birthdays or with the cast, or just that you can remember from your childhood that like really stick with you.
I had this weird thing when I was a kid where I would always get sick or get hurt on my birthday. I skateboarded backwards into a dumpster on my 10th birthday and bruised my kidney so badly that I couldn't walk. I have a lot of, I think all of my childhood birthday memories are bad. My mom decided, we went to different schools all the time, so I didn't have like a close group of friends. Like sometimes we'd switch schools mid-year, but we were always in a different school every year. And so my mom wanted me, I think, to feel like on my birthday I had friends, so she invited a bunch of kids from my class over, and I think this was 4th grade, for a sleepover. And the girls in the class came too. There was like 10 kids over for a sleepover, and they all, while I was sleeping, they took the blankets off and they took pictures of my kids. You know, like as bad as it could possibly get for a 9-year-old. So yeah, you're actually bringing up a super painful topic for me, and I thank you for that. Yeah, super sad now. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
I do have this one memory that kind of, this one, I'll try to end on a lighter note. Oh no, it's actually super depressing too. So there was a man who was a friend of my mother's when I was quite young. He ended up dying of AIDS, so that's the sad part. But before that, he was like, I guess he had been in prison, and he had gotten a job like picking up trash on the side of the road with one of those little trash pickers. And he, for my 6th birthday, he drew me this little picture of himself in a raincoat, stabbing trash. And it said, I didn't mind working in the rain today because it was Misha's birthday. And I see that until our house burned down. Also a sad story. But I had that on my wall until I was 16, and it was somehow very meaningful to me, even though I didn't really know him very well at all. It was just like that. Yeah. Hi.
So my question is, have you ever read or seen any fan fiction? And if yes, what kind?
Have I ever read or seen fan fiction?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
17.
Have you?
Possibly.
How can I keep my children off the internet? Oh my God, I have to keep my children off the internet. There are horrible things that they can't read about me. It's the first time that dawned on me. When I first got on the show, I was sort of like taken aback by the whole thing. I didn't know really that I was coming into a fandom. I didn't even know what a fandom was. I certainly didn't know what slash fiction or fan fiction was. I didn't know, I was several episodes in before discovering that I was a character in slash fiction, which I discovered just by accident. I was just like Googling around like, oh what, weird. This is like, oh, somebody wrote an essay about Cass and Dean, and I don't remember this part in the script where Cass unbuttons Dean's pants. And I read it so naively and so innocently. I was like, wow, what is happening here? But I have not, I know that some of the other cast members do write a fair amount of slash fiction. I love how everybody's just quietly just accepting that. Yeah, we know. Does everybody know what slash fiction is? Yes! Raise your hand if you don't. Okay, so both of you who don't know. It's where they write stories, fans write stories about the characters in the show, and sometimes those characters get amorous with one another, and sometimes violently so. Okay, good talk. I don't know why we're still talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. So my question is, I just want to say thank you first of all because of all your kind of work with mental illness and things like that. I myself am someone that has struggled with mental illness and things like that. So I just wanted to say, you know, in times kind of when things are low or you're tired or you kind of don't know what to do, who do you turn to, either the cast or family members, when you need a little pick-me-up?
That's a really interesting question. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for saying that. I think this community, this fandom, has been really incredibly supportive of one another in that department, and it's lovely to see you getting up there and sharing that and feeling comfortable doing that in this large group of people, because I think that you know that you're accepted and embraced here, and that's a nice thing to have. I think I turn to probably my wife first and most. I've had a few times in my life where I was having a really, really hard time, and just hearing her voice was soothing in like a medicating way. I also can, you know, I have these like periodic. I don't know if I've ever shared this, but I have these periodic kind of dark spells, which I call molting, where I just feel, I mean, I think it's probably depression, but I named it something else to make it easier for me to talk about it. And it lasts for like 2 weeks, and it happens maybe once every 5 years or something like that. And it's very visceral, and I just feel like very dark, and I kind of just curl up and go into my own head and wait for it to pass. So in a way, sometimes I think I just go into myself too, for a weird kind of solace. I'm oversharing right now. I don't know why. But yeah, I think that I also have like a couple of really long-term friends that I can turn to, just a couple, and talk to about any hard thing. It's nice to know that there's a few people out there that sort of, I guess, you know, we have like mutual, unconditional love and aren't going to judge each other. It's nice to have a few people like that in one's life. That felt like therapy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lucy, and I'm repping your I Wish for This campaign shirt today.
Why, thank you. It looks fetching on you.
Oh, thank you. I love your outfit too. My question is, I was wondering if you're doing a new campaign soon, or if anything's coming up.
I don't have anything in the offing right now, but we are all, not all, but many of us on the cast are running a marathon coming up, and I think that that's sort of something that we're all going to put our efforts behind and treat as, you know, as a campaign. We want to try to like make as big an impact with that as possible because we're going to be suffering so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. So first I wanted to say
congratulations on 10 years. I know I'm a little late. But
Thank you.
non-show related, who's your favorite band?
Who's my favorite band? I do not have a favorite band. I have lots of favorite musicians and bands, and it vacillates wildly. I'll listen to, AC/DC, and then I'll listen to Nina Simone. Kind of all over the map. Do you have a favorite band?
Probably Green Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Good choice. Yeah. Sorry, that was a really unsatisfying answer. All right, I'll try to be better next time. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I was just wondering how you celebrated West and Mason's birthdays this year.
Well, this was an exciting year because it's the first time in several years that I've actually been home for my kids' birthdays. I was shooting, so I was only with them for about an hour after they woke up, but it was still something. I brought them sweet cupcakes to eat and let them have them for breakfast. And then Vicky said, West, you will not tell anyone at school that we let you have a cupcake for breakfast. So it was like a sort of combination of celebration and shaming. They were both very cute and very excited. Small children are so excited to have that annual clock tick one more year further. And Mason especially was just delighted that she was 6 years old now. She was like, this is going to be awesome. I'm 6. So cute. But so it's actually not better, it's worse. Getting older is bad. I tried to explain that to both of them. I have this story about aging that I've shared before, but I'll share it again because it seems appropriate. We have this nighttime routine where I'll lie in the middle, and one of them will lie on each shoulder, and then we'll read books. And I was sort of like cuddling them both, and I said, I want you guys to never grow up and always stay my little kids. And Mason said, no, I am going to grow up. And I said, no, I want you to never grow up and stay my little kids forever and ever. And she said, no, I am going to grow up. And I said, no, I want you to stay my little kids forever and ever and ever. And she said, no, I am going to grow up, and I'm going to get old, and I'm going to die. Kind of killed the mood for me. Thanks. Hi.
Hi, Misha. First, I want to say I do hope we get to see you direct again at some point.
Why, thank you very much.
And my question is, when you are directing, like scripts can be 30 or 40 scenes. How do you break that down? Like, which one to start first, like which scene to shoot first, like what order you're going in? Is there kind of like a pattern to that everybody follows, or is it just up to the individual director?
So we don't shoot in order unless it's convenient. It really has to do with locations. So, for example, we'll know that on Monday we're going to be in the studio, so we'll shoot scenes that happen in the Men of Letters on Monday. We try to stay in the same set. And then if there are, typically in an episode, if, for example, there are maybe over the course of the script, 6 scenes that take place in the Men of Letters, we'll do those in order in one day, if that makes sense. But they won't be consecutive scenes. They'll just be, the first scene in the Men of Letters and then throughout to the end of the script. But the first AD is the one that figures all that stuff out, and the director more or less just does what he or she is told. Yeah, it's super complicated, all of the scheduling and logistics that go into putting an episode together, and it's never really in sequence, and that makes it tough for the actors because we'll be shooting. Maybe the very first scene that we shoot is the last scene in the script, and because for instance, me, Jared, and Jensen, we never read the scripts. We have no idea what's going on. not true. So yeah, but you can, if you're not totally paying attention, because things are taken, you know, completely out of order, we can sometimes get lost and be like, wait a minute, did we? It actually happened last week where we shot a scene and then we were halfway through and one of us realized we were completely misinterpreting it because we had forgotten what had happened previously in the script. And because we were just being little children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi.
I'm sorry.
Catherine,
Hi, Catherine.
I was wondering, what's your motivation for acting?
What's my motivation for acting? Like, you mean in a given scene, what's my motivation? Usually it's to like try to kill a demon.
It's like going into the career of acting.
Why did I get into it in the first place? You know, I don't know. My mother did a lot of community theater when I was little, and so I would sort of tag along with her, and I would occasionally like play a little kid. My first role was I was maybe 6. I played a 4-year-old girl. And it was like a 3-hour-long political play. And I had one line, which was, yes, I can believe it because it's true. I would always have to be nudged and woken up to say my line. But I was always, I was exposed to it as a kid, but it was also not something that ever looked like a viable career option. Because, you know, she never got paid and it was a lot of, you know, it was time consuming. And then I went to college, and I remember I went to the theater to, oh no, I know what happened. I just figured out what I got to happen.